Ricky goes to the movies.
Okay, so I'm trying something completely new, really short format, geeky movie reviews. I just drove 2 hours from my home in Lewiston, Maine to come to the only Dolby theater within hundreds of miles of my home. This theater in Methuen is the best movie-going experience I've ever had. Dolby does it like no other. This is not sponsored. They really do just kick that much ass. So if you're gonna see a movie like Furiosa, you gotta do it this way. This is gonna be a 3x3 review. I've always wanted to see reviews that aren't just like one point in time. They're a review that encapsulates how you feel about a movie as time passes by. I'm gonna review the movie for less than 30 seconds right after I come back outside. I'm gonna go see the movie, come back to my car, sit down, and record my reaction for less than 30 seconds. Then I've got a 2-hour drive ahead of me. When I get home, park the car, get ready to go back inside the house. I'm gonna do another less than 30-second review. And then finally, I'm gonna sleep on it. And then tomorrow morning, first thing, I'll give my final 30-second review and final thoughts, and we'll see how this movie stacks up. So here we are. This is my 3x3 review of Furiosa. Okay, so I just drove 2 hours to get home. Ain't nobody gonna say I don't sacrifice for my Mad Max movies. So I've been thinking about the movie. There's a word that I want to talk about today, and it's called verisimilitude. It means the appearance of being real. Now, there's a little bit to unpack with that word, in that the definition of the word, the appearance of being real, acknowledges that what you're looking at is in fact artifice. It's not real. It's fake. Verisimilitude is what every single movie is trying to capture. Whether it's about World War II or wars in stars, they're trying to give you the appearance that something real is happening. Hollywood, the way they operate is, let's say there's like a cowboy movie, and there's 3 doors on a hotel, and our hero opens door A, and we get a peek inside at their room and how messy it is or how clean it is, and it gives us an indication of character. And then that character leaves the room and goes about the scene, right? Well, behind doors B and C, there's nothing there. Those doors aren't even really doors. They're just artifice. They're fake doors stapled onto a wall. That's how Hollywood magic works. George Miller makes these Mad Max movies, and it isn't that way. I know he doesn't. It is Hollywood, but it's as if he builds those other 2 rooms. At any point in time, I feel like I could kick down a door leading to another room, and there will be a room there, and characters and development. There's so much going on. They interact with a doctor at one point in the movie, but this is the Mad Max world, so they don't have a word for doctor. So he calls himself a organic mechanic. That level of writing is what we're talking about here. You don't have to like the story. You don't have to like the actors. You don't have to like action movies. But the level of depth and detail that goes into crafting the universes that he does, they are special. What a long day that was. It's the next morning, and I'm exhausted because it was 2 hours to the movie theater. It was 2 hours to get home. It's a 2.5 hour long whole ass movie. Very long is the operative word here. Despite all that, this is an experience. This is hard because it feels like I'm not giving a review for Furiosa anymore. My initial feelings still stand. It's a very exciting movie. It's a very dynamic movie. You have a lot of fun with it. It's very rare that it feels like a movie was made exactly for me. As if like the title should roll by and it should say, dedicated to Ricky. But this is exactly what I want out of a popcorn flick. I want that high octane, fun energy, and I definitely got it, and it's worth a watch for that reason alone. This is one of those movies, though, that it is designed for the theater. You can't watch this movie on your cell phone. You shouldn't watch this movie even at home. I feel like you're missing a lot. One example, spoiler free, there's a motorcycle very early on that somebody names as the Thunder Bike. And in a Dolby theater, when this Thunder Bike is rolling by, you feel it in your chest and your stomach, this da 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 da. And it physically feels different than any other motorcycle on the screen. Even though it's a biker gang and there's like 5 motorcycles at any point in time, when you hear this motorcycle bike and this Thunder Bike in the distance, you feel it in your chest. It's an entirely different animal. The bullets ping louder, the machines grind harder. And with a movie like this, where there's actually quite a bit of sound missing, you expect big Hollywood movies to have big Hollywood soundtracks, but no, the majority of this film is actually like quite quiet, and it just lets the scenes sit. It's ambient noise. It's not to say that there's no sound design. There's tons of sound design in the machines, in the guns, in the people just breathing. But in terms of score, aside from that like Furiosa theme, that deep cello, vroom, vroom, the soundtrack, it is rare throughout. For a 2.5-hour movie, I'd say you probably get like a half hour of music. And just like the whole experience of going to the movies is, it's still special. Pre-pandemic, I was an AMC Stubs member, which is you get the unlimited movies every week. You can just keep going once a day within 24-hour periods and just keep going to the movies. I would go on average twice a week. I'd see a movie by myself and I'd see a movie with my wife on the weekends. And obviously it's been years since the pandemic, and so it's been years since I had that membership. But God, it made me miss it. Getting this popcorn and drink combo was delightful. There's still room for loving and appreciating movies in the theater. There's still room for it. And a movie like Furiosa, it feels almost like after it leaves theaters, it should be retired, because like, this sounds awful, but it's like one of those band geeks that's like, you really should see them live. But like, no, this is a movie that you really should see in the biggest, loudest possible way. So I loved it. I thought it was a great, fun time. I don't want to say that as in like, take your brain out of your head and enjoy the movie. No, there's so much to absorb. The fact that doctors are called organic mechanics is sticking with me. The fact that doctors were unheard of in this world. The repurposed nature of machines, where every machine has parts from other unrelated machines, and the way characters talk. Again, no spoilers. There's one scene where a villain gives a speech about like hope, and how like in this world there is no hope. And then later on, that same character dives at someone's knife in their boot. They want to get the knife from them and kill them. And they pull the knife out and they see that it's already been broken. It was a decoy. The person who put the knife in their boot knew that this guy was going to go for it and was just kind of messing with his head. And so the guy who's all anti-hope pulls the knife out. He looks at it and he goes like, that wasn't a demonstration of hope. That was instinct. So like the audience wasn't even thinking that like, oh, he says you shouldn't hope, but then he goes for the hope when it's his ass on the line. No, like the character immediately reacts to what the audience's expectation is. It's a smart movie for a movie about like an apocalypse, post-apocalyptic world where cars are, the big thing. You feel like it should be dumber than it is, but it really isn't. These are awesome movies. They're special movies. They hold a big place in my heart, and I proved it by driving several hours each way to go see it like this. So Furiosa, it's got the Ricky seal of approval. That means nothing. Love you, bye.